Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of BARBENO'S World. So yeah, it's been quite a while since the last episode, and that's partially been because I haven't had so much time to play Minecraft and work on videos, but it's also been because the next project that I've embarked on is taking me a lot of work, and I don't really have much to show for it in terms of a video so far. So most of my recent projects have been somewhat small, at least, as in I could get them done in about one episode's time, but this next project feels like it's a really big thing and it's going to be hard to divide it up. However, since it's going to take me so much time, I am going to try splitting it up and showing you guys more of the journey. Okay, so what is the project? Well, I have been thinking quite a while that my storage system right here is getting a little bit slow, out of date, and laggy, and I've decided that my next project has to be to revamp this storage system, because at this point it's gotten a little bit too slow and inefficient to use, and it keeps breaking, so I have had some items just piling up in junk chests. And before these junk items start piling up too severely, I do need to make a big change. So yeah, the plan is to design a massive ultimate storage system that should be able to store every single item that I could possibly have for the foreseeable future. And luckily, while I wasn't making videos, I was spending a lot of time working on designing this storage system. So let's go over to my creative world and check it out. Here it is, the ultimate storage system. My most complex and ambitious redstone project to date. Now quickly, before I get into explaining how it's going to work, I do want to give some credit to a lot of designs that I used to build into this massive storage system. So this part over here uses a really cool concept based on dolphins that I'll explain a bit more later, but this was based on a video that Cubic Meter made, and you should check that out. And another part of my storage system over here is Rapscallion's multi-item sorter that fits into this part. And also, of course, we've got Ilmango's chunk loader to load the chunks so that I can keep the multi-item sorter running. Now, all of that will be linked in the description, but if none of what I said there made any sense, I'll try to explain this more in detail now. So on the inside, the storage system looks like this. I designed it kind of based on the colors of my logo, and it should definitely have enough chests for me to store a lot of things. Over here is the bulk storage area where we have 2 double chests for each item that are labeled below them. As you can see, we have stored 200 different items in this area since it's a 50 block long hallway. And below the floor, we've obviously got some soul soil so that I can wear some soul speed boots. And with the speed 2 effect, we can run super fast to access any chest that we might need. Over here, we've got the bottom part of Rapscallion's multi-item sorter, and here's where I'm going to store the rest of everything that I have. This sort of multi-item sorter is pretty cool because you don't actually have to allocate slots for everything. You just put every single item that you need into this code item chest up here. So all of these different items are going to end up in this chest when they're run through the sorter. And we've got a lot of different slices like so. And out here we have the overflow. We have a pretty cool input system here. As you can see, it's kind of like a modified Ilmango crafting station. Say you want to put some dirt in the system, we can fill up this shulker box, and above a certain fill level, it gets chucked into the system and brought down into this super fast shulker box unloader. I believe it's 32 times hopper speed, and all of the items get put into the water streams. Now the water streams lead into this massive bulk item sorting area, and all of this is based on Cubic Meter's video where he made the dolphin based item sorting system. And basically how it works is it's a very typical water stream sort of design, except to avoid items getting lost when they are moving too fast, they just keep getting cycled back, and the dolphin prevents the items from despawning by picking up all the items and dropping them. There is actually a bunch of other fancy stuff going on, like with overflow detection systems, so that it doesn't keep recycling, but I didn't have time to explain all of that. So yeah, we've also got a output of shulker boxes in this area, and the system can also take full shulker boxes in this chest. So yeah, hopefully that's just about all I need to mention for you to have a basic understanding of how the system's going to work. But if you want to understand any of this a little bit more, I do recommend you check out Cubic Meter and Rapscallion's videos for the various parts of the system. Okay, yeah, so this definitely is a very big build, but it isn't actually all that I've been working on this entire time. I've had a lot of time to think about how I want to implement this into my own world, and I've decided that I don't just want to put it somewhere. I want to dress it up and make it really fancy with a huge building. And this is not a small storage system, so I kind of had to go big or go home. And now we're at the part that has taken me many weeks to figure out, and I'm still only a fraction of the way there. And that is the building facade that I plan to do around the storage system. I built this up in another creative world, so let's check out what I have so far. Okay, here it is. I've had to turn the shaders off so that you can get a bit of a better view of it, because this thing is made entirely out of wool. But as you can see, I have quite a very detailed structure set up, and I clearly spent a super long time designing the basic structure for our facade. So I'm not really an architectural genius or anything, so I don't think I would be able to design something this detailed on my own, but I did get a lot of inspiration from the internet to be able to do this. And so my main inspiration for this, and the design should look pretty similar, is the State Historical Museum in Moscow, Russia. So I'll show some pictures of it now. There are a ton of images of this on the internet, so I could basically get pictures from every conceivable angle to be able to do this quite detailedly, and hopefully I've been able to replicate it quite nicely, and if I've modified anything, it's just been so it makes more sense in the context and scale of my build. Anyways, so I've basically resolved to not start building it in survival until I've finished with the entire State Historical Museum design. And this has taken me quite a bit longer than I've expected, and it's going to take me even more time. But hopefully during this video, we'll be able to put a little bit more work into this and improve it just a little bit. And so now that we're at a kind of a big landmark point with me being done the entire wireframe design, I think I'm going to actually take a whole copy of this and build up the rest of the thing right beside it. So I'm going to be using World Edit a lot for this design, and I'm going to copy it using those tools. Okay, here we go. Let's paste it in. Very nice. Now for the purposes of our design now, I think I'm actually going to get rid of this whole storage system in the middle, and we can focus on more of the actual build. Alright, let's get this on camera unless I mess anything up, but I think I should have the right command here. I'm just replacing everything except for red wool in my selection with air. Yeah, that worked out pretty well. I just have a few other bits to get rid of. Okay, so now that we've got the whole wireframe here, the next main step is definitely going to be to detail this entire thing out with the final blocks that we're going to use. And the first step of that has to be to decide the block palette for the build, which I haven't actually done up to this point. And off camera, I've spent a lot of time thinking about it and also picking out some block palettes that I've put down here. So the first one I've got is this. These colors work together really nicely, and they're like kind of my logo colors. So I thought that would go together well, except building a whole castle out of these bright colors would definitely not work. So next I considered using the sandstone, birch, and warp stem combination, which looks really nice, especially for interiors, like I did my whole storage system out of that. But I decided that this won't really work for the exterior of a build, and actually I even tried doing one tower out of it, and it just looked really bad. So next I considered making it more aligning with the actual State Historical Museum building that this is based off of. So this is some red color mixed with the white for the roofs. And this is actually a really nice palette, but I think it would be just too expensive with the red nether bricks. And so the final block palette that I've settled on right here actually just uses normal bricks mixed with granite and terracotta, a classic combination that looks really nice. We also have some jungle wood that is also good to use with those blocks. I've done it a couple times at least. And also I'm still using that quartz for the roofs and some dark tones for the windows. And I've actually compiled a whole tower complete with a ton of details here. And I think this actually looks really nice. It still is a work in progress and I might tweak a few things. But this tower is definitely up to my standards, and I think it would go well in the final build. So now that we have one tower, this tower is actually the leftmost one right here. If we put that in, we should be able to start doing that for each one of the sections of the build, and kind of start compiling that until we have the full thing. Alright, so as you can see, I've gone ahead and taken this prototype tower that I've designed and implemented it into the actual structure of the build here. I had to add quite a few more details as well. I added this entryway and some stairs, and also more decorations around the sides. And I also put a flipped version of this over here on the other side. It doesn't look like much in the grand scheme of things, but it was really good to make this start on it. And now hopefully the rest of it is going to go a bit smoother. Now I don't have much more time in this episode left, but I want to take you through the process of how I did this a little bit. And maybe while we're at it, we can design one small little tower as well. So let's do this tower. So first of all, we can copy the wool shell. I'll just select it like this. And we can paste it down right here. Now, after we remove all of this extra stuff, we can start filling in the walls. Okay, so I filled in all of the walls here with solid wool, and I'm going to quickly texturize it using World Edit. I've got this pattern that's just randomly 40% granite, 30% bricks, and 30% terracotta. And I think that looks pretty good for the walls. So, yeah. Now I guess we can start working on this pointed roof. Rather than having the roof start kind of like down here like I did for the other tower, I'm going to put some trim right here and then put the roof kind of closer to the inside. Now I'm trying to use jungle wood for the highlights just because that looks a little bit nicer, and also we want some quartz. So I use some pillars and smooth slabs. Yeah, I've got to admit I'm really not the best at these roof parts. But for the centerpiece with the quartz pointy thing, I'm gonna need a lot of trial and error until I get a nice looking shape. Alright, this is not my finest work, but I think I'm just gonna leave it for later because we have also got to add a lot more decorations. I want to add a big window somewhere around here. And there we go. I guess we're kind of done here. Sorry I kind of skipped a bit of the detailing there, but I got really concentrated and it was hard to give updates. But I think this looks like some pretty good details. We have a big window in the middle, some smaller windows here, and some quartz trim around. So now I'm just going to take this and paste it into the actual build. Alright, hopefully this works. Yep, it seems to go quite smoothly. Let's paste it on the other side as well. Here we go. Okay, this actually is great. Solid progress. Alright guys, I'm pretty tired now. I have put a ton of work into this. I'm not sure if I was the most efficient, but it did take me quite a while just to do this little bit. But hopefully you enjoyed it, and hopefully this was entertaining. So let me know if you want me to do more sort of design work videos, or just wait until I'm ready to build this. But it is going to take me a really long time to design this build, and I do want to keep you updated as I'm going. But yeah, that's going to be it for this episode. Hopefully you enjoyed it. It was definitely a weird one, but I enjoyed making it, so yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.
Barbeno's World, Barbeno's World.